Hello, one. Hello, all. It is Thursday, October 16th. We are live at Corby's Irish Pub in South Bend, and we've got another loaded show in store for you tonight on Coach's Corner with Heck and King. James Franklin is out at Penn State. Luke Fickle might be out at Wisconsin. Indiana and Oregon switch places in the rankings, and we'll talk about one of the bigger rivalries in all of college football this weekend coming up, BYU versus Utah. Just kidding. It's Notre Dame and USC. We will talk about that here and much more on Coach's Corner. And for some reason, the audio video file didn't upload. So I'm going to sit here and upload it and filibuster while I do that. Here, I'll put these guys' audio on real quick. Here, guys, say something.
Hey, it's 5. You know what I want to say? It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Sounds like a good politician to me.
For some reason, when I tried to upload the video for the thing, it didn't upload. So
tonight is not karaoke night.
Filibuster.
Tonight could be karaoke.
It should be karaoke night.
Oh, okay, listen to me.
Fight on for old SC.
Oh my,
we've heard all for you to carry through.
Listen,
our alma mater, dear.
So here's the deal.
Welcome to Corby's.
Welcome to Corby's. Welcome to Coach's Corner. I am Ron Hecklinski. Yes, that's who I am. To my right is the great Mr. Pat King, who thinks he wants to go solo tonight.
No.
He said he wanted to go solo, so we're going to let him go solo.
Yeah, and you and I are going to go eat.
We'll go eat.
We'll go eat.
And we'll check the ratings. Yeah. To Pat's right is the great Johnny Be Good, John Overmeyer.
Feeling like Rodney Dangerfield right now.
No, and you shouldn't. You shouldn't feel like Rodney Dangerfield because you are a huge part of this show. At least 10%. At least 10% of the show.
I want you to know I made a special effort to be here tonight. I
can't get no respect around here. No respect at all.
No, but can I tell you?
I could be down at playing golf in Sarasota right now.
But can I say something to you?
Go right ahead.
You're a freaking adult. You have responsibilities. Exactly. Thursday nights we have this show.
I understand.
And you got a ball game tomorrow night. There you go.
Here I am.
What my wife said to me.
Explain that to my wife.
My wife said, it's fall break, Ronnie. I said, cool. She said, where are we going? I said, well, I don't know. I got Coach's Corner on Thursday night. I got a ball game on Friday night. We can go somewhere Saturday. She goes, you always got something when it's time for you to do something with me. And I said, I'm an adult. I have things that I got to do. My cohort, Pat King, wants to stay on the beach in Florida.
How did that go for you?
It didn't go very well.
Curious.
It didn't go very well.
Hey,
so she handed you a pillow and a blanket and said, there's the couch.
It didn't go very well.
What's the title of this show again?
The title of this show is
IU's pretty good.
IU is the real deal.
That's great. I have the video now. Stay tuned.
Or in SIG we trust.
Okay. Coach's Corner with Coach Heck and the infamous Coach Patrick King. Some of the stuff we say.
We're not responsible for our actions.
No,
we're sober.
In essence, and you could tell me to shut the hell up, but in essence, you got chemo face, right?
I got chemo face. When I go to the scores table to talk to Coach, I said, get as many pictures as you can. And it kind of reminded me that the stories you said when you coached the McDonald's game when you had LeBron say, okay, LeBron, sign this because someday it's going to be important.
What did one casket say to the other? Is that you coughing? And you ain't that good. The scouting report said you were pretty good. You ain't that good.
Coach's Corner with Heck and King live at Corby's Irish Pub in South Bend is brought to you by Tony Letcher with Health Markets Insurance, On Funeral Homes in Mishawaka, Frick's Driving School in Mishawaka, and the Harbor Group Planned Wealth down in Anderson. If you're on YouTube, make sure and subscribe to the channel and like the video and comment in the chat. Now here's Heck and King.
Heck and King and the great Johnny Overmeyer, who is our owner. The owner of broadcastsport.net. We have one of our great supporters and sometimes guest on the show. Our number one fact checker is Kenny Peterson, sitting right in front of us here. He's kind of shaking his head and saying, what's the matter with you guys, man?
Well, it's getting close to primary time, so the elections for the mayor of New Carlisle are upcoming, so he's got to make sure he's
listen,
showing his face.
Next week, we'll give you an opportunity to give your campaign speech. All right. Hey.
And he running unopposed like Vladimir Putin?
No, elect me.
Or Saddam.
And I will control the Amazon construction.
Yes.
on the west side.
Yeah, so a lot of good things as we start this show. This is going to be a good show. We have John here. We're going to do a lot of high school stuff. We're going to talk about some college stuff. We're going to talk about some Major League Baseball, some NFL. Maybe at Penn State, they're looking for a new coach now.
Well, one of them just got crossed off too.
Yeah, no, we're going to talk about that too in a minute, because I think Curt Cignetti has done just a phenomenal job at Indiana University, but he's made it harder on some other people. And let's just open up with that. So Indiana University goes out to Oregon last weekend, and Oregon is really, really good. Indiana. People have said, well, you haven't played anybody, blah, blah, blah. You played Illinois. You hung 63 on Illinois. Okay, so that's something that says you might be pretty good.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah. But now this is a real opportunity to put IU on the map with the upper echelon of college football programs, right?
Right. And I was thinking, has Cignetti's IU team been in a bigger game? And the only thing I could think back to would be in last year's Notre Dame game on the road. This is the most recent, big opportunity they've had on the road against a quality team since they came to South Bend last December.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. And they came to South Bend. What an outstanding opportunity to host a college football playoff game in December,
right,
in South Bend.
We were there
with the snow blowing, with people Christmas shopping.
Mm-hmm.
The moment that game was on, I was on my roof and I was installing the Star of Bethlehem. My brother's name was Booty, and for his whole life he would put a star on top of his roof, the Star of Bethlehem, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So obviously after Booty passed away, I got the star, and we now call it the Star of Bethlehem.
Bethlehem.
And I'm on the roof with it snowing like H and ice on the roof. And Monica says, hey, the Notre Dame game's on. I said, hang on, I got the Star of Bethlehem. I'm ready to get it up there. But anyway, what a
we've
great
always
deal.
questioned his judgment on
Yeah, we
things.
have. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean,
First of all, being up on the roof in the winter.
When I fell and broke my neck,
It would have been a softer fall.
That was just a two-step fall.
You could have slid. You just slid right down the roof and landed on your behind and been fine.
Yeah, but so IU then comes to South Bend, and I thought IU represented themselves pretty good.
They did very well, yeah.
I thought they were awful.
I mean, the first drive that they have, they throw a pick, and so Notre Dame gets on the scoreboard first. Jeremiah Love, has a 99-yard run, but nobody really, including me, and I don't know about you guys. So nobody really took IU seriously. I really didn't. I thought that IU had a great season. I thought the Big Ten was down, and IU was fortunate. And some of those teams they played, had not been down always. Nebraska hadn't always been down. Michigan State was down, and IU was, they brought in new players. They got a new coach. And good for them,
right?
But
Exactly.
I didn't think they were serious even coming in to play Notre Dame.
Well, it's the stigma. It's a basketball school
And a soccer school.
And a soccer school.
Anything-
They haven't really been a basketball school the last 20 years.
Anything but more of a soccer school.
Right, but football's always taken a backseat to those other sports. So who's going to believe in IU football? Are you kidding me?
Well, let's face it. It was when it was 28-3 in the fourth quarter. Matter of fact, Kenny, I think I told you, thank you very much. I'm heading for the car.
I say that game wasn't nearly as close as the
It was
scoreboard said.
28-3 with like 4 or 5 minutes left, and I think they scored twice in the last when they emptied the bench. I mean, I thought Notre Dame totally dominated them, and I think the game this past week against Oregon was huge because they were 0 for 1 in big games. It was what I was thinking.
Yeah,
it was validation. For them to go out to Oregon and do what they did, I thought was just amazing.
So who did you get your ticket from? So John gave you a ticket and you didn't even stay for the whole game.
I bought it.
He bought it, but still he didn't stay for the whole game.
John, so
my
next
feet
time
were
you have
cold.
tickets-
I'm calling you.
Okay,
I'm calling you.
Hey,
You and me.
I had 8 pair of socks on and my snow boots. I was sitting in wet. My rear end was wet. There was still 4 or 5 inches of snow down around our feet that hadn't melted.
Okay. So
you had bought some hand warmers that we'd stuck down our shirt.
Because we passed those out at the tailgate.
Oh yeah, we were ready. We had our hand warmers like we were out hunting.
All right, so let me ask you this question. Forget the hand warmers. Did you have a bottle?
No.
There you go, right there.
No, we didn't have any schnapps, no nothing.
I don't know where, and I mean I don't know where this ever came out, but people outside in the cold drinking schnapps.
Yeah, it's not smart.
No, in South Bend, that was the thing. Whenever we would go out snow shoveling as kids, and when I say kids, maybe in high school, we had a bottle of schnapps. I would think you would always want to have a bottle of a whiskey or something like that, right? Forget the hot chocolate, a bottle of whiskey.
Well, I don't think it takes a genius to figure out alcohol does not help you.
So did you not even have a flask with you?
Nothing. Like we had popcorn and it got cold.
You had frozen freaking popcorn. No wonder you were freezing, man. Frozen freaking popcorn.
We couldn't eat it because we had 3 pair of gloves on.
Oh, that's hilarious. But no, so now get back to that game. Okay, IU scores a couple late, makes it a little closer. But at the end of the day, Notre Dame starts their run to the national championship. They get all the way to the title game, but it starts with Indiana. So now Indiana comes back. And when Indiana starts that season, Curt Cignetti comes in. He's 63 years old. He in 2010, he was an assistant coach at Alabama for Nick Saban.
Mm-hmm.
Then he got a head coaching job, ended up at James Madison, had some success at James Madison, had some good players. Scott Dolson, the AD, does his homework, is very diligent in who he wants to bring in as the next football coach, and he settles on Scott Cignetti. And one of the things that he settles on Scott Cignetti is about he wins games, right?
Right, and he's told us that.
Yeah, no,
just Google him.
No, I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. I mean, I wish we would have had Google when some of those dumb questions that the media ask you. Just Google me.
The media asks dumb questions
just once in a while.
I'm just curious.
I never asked you a dumb question, did I, King? Okay.
My hearing's bad.
He just choked on us.
Yeah. Okay.
And by the way, that is not a Coke. That's like
stop it. That is it's whatever you handed me.
What kind of respect? What kind of respect is that, man? I always treated you well.
You did fine. We did fine.
No, but then he comes in. He brings Scott Dolson and the boys at IU pony up cash. I mean, they say, "Here's NIL money.
Here's some money."
Yep.
But like Nick Saban says, you can have all the money in the world, but you got to know who to spend it on, right? And he does.
And he has. He sure has.
That's what you always say, heck, KYP.
Yeah, know your personnel, man. Are you kidding me?
And the experts have claimed that they're probably even better this year than they were last year.
Yeah, and thanks for bringing that up, Scott, because when I was a kid, our coaches started that with us. I mean, I don't know if Ray Estes did that with you, putting personnel on the board, telling you what they can do. And it started my cocky attitude right off the jump, because they said this guy will get 20. And I said, you ain't that good. My coach said, you're going to get 20 on me? You ain't that good. Sorry, I brought that up.
I know.
You ain't that good, man. But no, he does a great job now coming into this year. Okay, now IU is not going to sneak up on anybody, right?
Not now.
Because they kind of believe Cignetti that, I mean, he gets to the playoffs. They believe him. They bring in Fernando Mendoza as a quarterback, who's had been at Cal, who's really, really good. As a matter of fact, against Oregon, he's 20 for 31 for 215 yards.
Now, why would you transfer from Cal, nice warm weather, to Bloomington to play for the Hoosiers? In the normal world, that just does not make sense. Is he running away from the police?
That was a dumpster fire too.
Have you ever
I think they gave him a bag of money.
Have you ever seen the cheerleading squad at IU?
Have you seen the cheerleading squad at University of California?
I have not, but I have seen the one at IU, okay. And I'm just going to tell you, 10s all across the board.
Is that a factor?
It would be for me, man. Kenny's out there, got his hand in the air.
Yeah, with the SC Song Girls. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No. So So he comes in, and again, he brings people in. The starting center for IU this year is Coogan, who started for Notre Dame last year.
I know.
So he's getting guys. He's getting guys in.
And Notre Dame just lost their center.
Yes, they just lost Ashton Craig to a knee injury, and he's out. But at the end of the day, that's why those guys are where they are at, because of the word depth, right?
Yes.
The word depth.
Did Notre Dame push Pat Coogan out, or was he like a fifth-year grad transfer?
He had one more year left, and Notre Dame understood that Ashton Craig was coming back again from another injury and was probably better than Coogan. And
so, yes.
Hey, go play at IU, man.
Performer.
Yes.
Go make some money, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's different today.
If you want to go someplace else, we'll help you find it.
Yeah, it's not just we're kicking you out. You're going to go for another payday, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
here, look, can I ask you a question?
Axe away, man.
So one of the podcasts I listen to all the time, they were talking about like who's the best coach in college football. And honestly, the last 2 years, I mean, has anybody done a better coaching job than Curt Cignetti? Based on, I mean, even if you just look at blue chip ratio.
Did he say blue chips?
Don't say blue chip.
Okay, if you look at the amount of 4- and 5-star recruits
like Curly
on their
going
roster,
like this.
They have no 5-star recruits, and I think they have like maybe 2 4-star recruits. The rest are 3 and below. So I mean, if you think about it, the talent that they have, I mean, has anybody done a better job at coaching than Cignetti?
I don't think so.
He'd be a good choice.
But and so there are a lot of people then that say Franklin gets fired at Penn State.
Well,
right?
that was a quick trigger too.
Yeah, but that was a trigger that was long overdue, because he's never won a big game. Has he ever won a big game at Penn State, John? Franklin.
No,
it's amazing how you can be
10 against top 10 teams or something.
I was going to say, you want to hear a really bad insult stat?
How many years has he been?
Yes.
Like 10-2, and he
Curt
couldn't
Cignetti has many top 5 wins this year as James Franklin has ever.
Yeah, no,
I can believe
100%.
that.
Yeah, no, I mean 100%. So everybody says, well, Curt Cignetti is 64 years old. Everybody says, well, is he going to be in for one of these paydays? Is he going to take the Penn State job? I think Cignetti made like around $7 million this year at IU. Is he going to take the Penn State job and make 10 or 11? Is he going to take another one of these big time jobs? And IU and Scott Dolson said, no, he ain't, because today he just signed an 8-year, $93 million contract for $11.6 million a year,
which will run him up to
2033.
Age 70 something.
So he'll be 70. He'll be about 72, 73. He'll be about Joe Pa's age when that contract expires.
Yeah, no, and if he makes it to it, God bless him. But at the end of the day, there is a little precedent on that contract. He's been good for a year and a half. Charlie Weiss was good for a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
There were rumblings out there that the NFL teams were going to pursue Charlie Weiss in the offseason of his second season, and he was going to go back to the NFL. And the athletic director, it might have been Kevin White. We had Kevin White on our show.
It was Kevin White. Yes, it was.
Kevin White and the boys said, no, Charlie, we're going to extend you. We're going to give you a big payday here to last for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So Notre Dame, in effect, jumped the gun on Charlie Weiss. And 3 years after that, fired him. And Charlie Weiss was smiling all the way to the bank for the next 5 or 6 years, collecting paychecks. Yeah. Also Mike Norvell.
Don't feel sorry for these guys.
At Florida State. They jumped the gun on him because he had a first couple of years where he was good. They extended him. And I'm not going to say he's been bad, but he certainly hasn't been as good as he was the first few years. So there's precedent.
Billy Napier.
Yeah. Well, no, and Billy. So guys like Billy Napier, maybe Hugh Freeze, maybe Luke Fickell,
Mel Tucker.
Those guys. So those guys are on the bad end of Curt Cignetti, because what Curt Cignetti did and what he said that he could do. I can come in and win right away. Billy Napier, Hugh Freeze, Luke Fickell, they're saying it's going to take us time to win. And Cignetti set the bar and said, no, it doesn't have to take you time to win.
He screwed things up for all these coaches.
He screwed a lot of stuff up for coaches saying.
A lot of coaches getting fired because of it.
It's going to take me time to get my program set up.
Well, and let's look back to Saturday's game itself. They got a field goal right at the end of the half to put them up 3. It was 13-10. Now, my whole thing, too, here's a high-flying Oregon team, and they held them to 10 in the first half.
Well, that defense for IU.
Defense was the real deal. They, at the, the 6-minute mark of the game, it's still 27-20. And then they had 2 interceptions in a row and ended up putting some more points on the board and ended up 30-20. But every time Oregon tried to catch up, IU had an answer for them. They stopped them. So it was impressive.
It would have been worse if they didn't throw that pick 6, though.
Yeah.
Like, think about how much IU really controlled the game.
Yeah. No. And I was listening to Herb Street or somebody. They asked Cignetti what he said to his quarterback Mendoza coming off the field after he threw that pick 6, and he looked at him and said, "Are you having fun yet?" That was his way of saying, "Hey, it's okay."
I can't believe that's what he really said.
Yeah,
you just never know. That's what he claimed he told the sideline reporter. So, yeah, you can go with that, whatever you think. He probably said, you do that again and you're gone.
Yeah, you do that again. Hey, Fernando, are you having fun? But because if you aren't, you'll be the next Fernando Valenzuela. You'll be out of here as our QB.
Just remember, football is fun.
Yes.
Mendoza,
Zero fun, sir.
Mendoza is one of the top 2 or 3 names right now for the Heisman, if that's important to anybody. It changes every week.
I think he is too.
As long as IU keeps winning, his name will be up there at the top of the Heisman, conversations instead of Arch Manning. Let's put it that way.
Oh no, I don't think there's. I think there's a lot of names.
The names that we saw early.
C.J. Carr would be ahead of Arch Manning. I think Jeremiah Love was certainly be up there also.
Yeah, I think so.
So let's take a look at IU's remaining games. Do any of you have those pulled up by any chance?
Not off the top of my head.
I
can find them.
Our Scott will get it.
We were looking at some of the other. I was just looking at the list. Alabama, Missouri was supposed to be a big game last week.
You got
too.
Michigan State this week for homecoming.
Yeah, they've got homecoming this week. Now, my brother Jeff and his gang,
Michigan State this week.
Michigan State.
Okay, that's a dub.
Yeah, then they host UCLA.
Then that's the one.
Dub.
That's the one.
Well, hang on. UCLA is like resurging here.
UCLA is favored this week who does UCLA play this week? I've got that written down here in my little secret note someplace.
Maryland.
A Maryland team that was undefeated 2 weeks ago.
And then IU gets Maryland the following week at Maryland.
But Maryland's got to go out to the Rose Bowl.
That's the game that could be a trap game for them because I got 2 dubs against Michigan State and UCLA. Then they go to Maryland. Then what's the next?
Over at Maryland. That's
at
true.
Penn State, Wisconsin, at Purdue.
So Penn State,
3
Maryland.
of their last 4 are on the road.
Yeah, but Penn State and Maryland, and I don't even know about Penn State. Penn State's in a shambles, I think.
And they could rebound like UCLA did. Yeah, they don't have a quarterback right now. But I was going to say, on a personal note, my brother Jeff and his Anderson buddies and IU buddies, they're going to homecoming. There's like 5 of them, and their families are going to the UCLA game in Bloomington 2 weeks from now.
Jeez, are you going?
I know, but I think I've got something else going on that week. But anyways, I'm just saying, IU is the place
Playing
to be.
golf on the beach.
All their home games are all sold out right now. It's a tough ticket.
Yeah,
well, who would have ever thought go to Bloomington as a tough ticket? It used to be a tough ticket when Bill
Ohio State came to town.
Yeah, exactly.
Here, I have the Heisman odds. Do you guys want them?
Yeah, I'd love to see them.
According to Fox, or I guess I can share the screen too. Share ad. There we go. According to Fox, Ty Simpson is plus 350, tied with Carson Beck, and then Fernando Mendoza is third at plus 550.
Yeah, Carson.
And it's Jeremiah Smith, Julian Sand, Dante Moore.
So wait a minute, Ty Simpson is number 1.
He's been playing very well.
So the Alabama quarterback is 1. The Miami quarterback is 2
Okay.
in the Heisman voting or the Heisman choices.
Okay.
Odds. Yeah.
Odds.
They only vote once, so it's
Right.
just what Vegas thinks.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
And
So
CJ Carr is kind of down there at plus 3,000. So you could sprinkle a little something on CJ Carr if you wanted
But being
to.
a freshman, I'm impressed.
yeah, I mean, I am
Maybe
too.
take a future on him to win next year.
When you look at the top 13, the new poll that came out, obviously OSU, Ohio State #1, and deservedly so. Miami, so as long as Miami and Texas Tech wins, this sets up great for Notre Dame. But Miami is #2. IU makes the big jump to #3, and deservedly so. Texas A&M, Mike Elko. Mike Elko is one of those coaches in his second year at Texas A&M. That has just gone off the charts, much like Kurt.
Well, and he is a Notre Dame defensive coordinator, right?
Yeah. Ole Miss, #5. Good old Lane Kiffin.
Way overrated.
Well, my son tells me that Lane Kiffin could be the next head coach at Florida.
He's always shopping.
I don't know.
I think Cignetti would have been the next coach at Florida.
He might have been until he signed this contract. Alabama, #6. Texas Tech, 7. Oregon drops down to 8. Georgia, 9. LSU, 10. Tennessee, 11. Georgia Tech, 12. But this is interesting right here. Down at number 13 is Notre Dame. So Notre Dame continues to win. And then they finish in that top 10. And then we start talking about playoffs because of 12 teams.
Yeah. I was listening to one of the radio shows coming home this afternoon, and they mentioned the 12 teams, and Notre Dame was not one of them in the right now. If the playoffs were this week,
yeah, because they're one game out. I mean, they're one team out of it, but
odd man out.
And when you talk about Notre Dame taking care of North Carolina State last week, CJ Carr again 19 for 31, but 19 for 31 for 342 yards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that'll.
I did not have a chance to watch the game because it was on Peacock and I was out of town and didn't have access to it. But I did watch the highlights a little bit of it today, and it seemed to me they were really emphasizing the mid-range passes. I mean, a lot of the passes were down the field. They weren't the dink and dunks.
Right.
They were
they're
the 15
expanding that now.
They were the 15 to 25 yard range.
Yeah, no, it's called YAC, yards after contact, yards after catch. And when you're throwing for 342 yards, 2 TDs as a freshman, and his running game, Jeremiah Love 18 for 86, 2 TDs, Jadarian Price 15 for 66. But here's something that is starting to take shape also. When we've talked about Notre Dame in the past, we've talked about tight end right? Great tight ends in the past. Michael Mayer, just great tight ends. Well, I mean, the tight end for Notre Dame, Eli Raridon, 7 catches for 109 yards. Tight end again. So
he was. They were running him down on that little seam route, and he was getting him open.
Pretty. I mean, that's when you're throwing the ball to your tight end. It opens everybody else up because Jordan Faison, the kid that came over from, I think, was it Clemson?
No, he came from Virginia.
Yeah, Malachi Fields. Yeah. And now when if they're rolling coverages to their side on the wideouts, in the middle of the field with the tight end, and Eli Raridon seems to be really, really picking up steam right now. Too.
So, I was just looking at some of these other games we've got coming up. Friday night, Louisville at Miami. So number 2 has got a Friday night ball game. Vandy, LSU. LSU, if they lose this weekend, then Brian Kelly becomes a candidate for one of these future jobs. They were talking about Brian Kelly going to Penn State. So is it time for him to move on if they end up with 3 or 4 losses?
Yeah, but I don't know why Penn State would want to take him.
I don't know either. I think that'd be disastrous taking Brian Kelly to Penn State. I think the alumni base would hang the AD.
If there's one way to kill a culture, it's hire Brian Kelly.
Yeah, well, exactly, Scott. I agree with that.
See, I was never thought
He's always down there with his family.
What did he do? What did he do at Notre Dame that made people so mad?
He's winning this all-time. Well, here's what he did.
He won.
Here's what he did.
What did he do to turn people off?
But it didn't. But it never turned me off when he was, when he would be on the field and getting after a quarterback or using some foul language. That never really bothered me. But it did offend some people. And here's what I say.
So they just didn't like his coaching style.
Probably, but here's what I say sometimes. With all the cameras that are on you now at a college football game or pro football game, you can't even you can't pick your nose.
No. Somebody will have it on camera.
If I was picking my nose and going like that and then wiping it on my shirt, someone would say, "What's the matter with that guy?
He's got a runny nose."
Yeah, but so like my problems with Brian Kelly would not be problematic to me. Whatever he did.
Are they enough to keep somebody from hiring him? Is what I'm asking.
I don't know. I mean, I think the name that you will probably hear at some point in time at Penn State is Clark Lee from Vandy. He's just done a phenomenal job at Vanderbilt.
Right behind Signetti, I guess, as far as coaching his players.
Yeah. But you know what? College football rolling now. What other big games we got rolling this weekend?
I like this one, Tennessee, Alabama.
Yeah, but it's at Alabama.
Yeah, take the Tide. Okay. It's going to be close, but I think you got to take the Tide.
Out west, you got Utah, BYU. Of course, you're going to think, okay, but BYU is one of those teams right now, and so is Utah that people are talking about as one of the 11 or 12 because of the conferences, conference champion stuff.
And then you got the Trojans.
We got, the game. Let's don't fool yourself. There's people in town already from Los Angeles today here on Thursday.
Well, it was funny because I saw some things on social media. The equipment truck arrived yesterday.
Sure.
And the Indiana State Police was escorting the equipment truck from USC here yesterday. And I saw some people walking around from California today. So it's already filled up here in town.
People come early.
That's right.
This is going to be a big deal, whether or not, and we're expecting rain, maybe all day.
They're talking after 2:00 now, is what I heard.
Yeah. So we're looking at rain, but I don't think it's going to make any difference on the tailgates, and they're still going to play the game. But it's the game of the week, really, in the entire country. Right here in South Bend.
USC Notre Dame is always has a ring to it.
But,
and USC is 5-1. Notre Dame 4-2, playing an elimination game.
Mm-hmm.
Every game from here on out is an elimination game for Notre Dame.
Right. I agree.
Hey, Scott, why don't you take us to break? We shall come back. We'll talk a little, maybe some Major League Baseball. Maybe we'll talk about some high school football in the area. But college football in Week 8 is in great form right now, right?
Sure is. It's going to be fun. Going to be a fun weekend.
All right, Scott.
Looking to get your driver's license? Frick's Driving School in Mishawaka makes it easy with the Indiana State driving exam in-house for just $65. No formal driver's education is required. If you're 16 years and 270 days old, which is like 9 months, and have held an Indiana learner's permit for at least 180 days, which is like 6 months, you're eligible. Frick's provides the vehicle. All you need to do is bring a ride to and from the office. The exam only takes about 20 minutes, and you can walk out with your official Indiana driver's license. To schedule, call 574-256-0650 or visit fricksdrivered.com.
Finding private health insurance can be stressful. What if it didn't have to be? I'm Tony Letcher, licensed insurance agent. I prefer to personally meet with my clients so I can get a better understanding of your needs and budget. I can even review your current coverage. I don't want you to be my client today. I want you to be my client forever. Call Tony Letcher today to schedule your free consultation or visit tletcher.com.
Hahn Funeral Homes, located at 505 West 8th Street in Mishawaka, continues a proud tradition built on one promise of family serving families. With deep roots in the community, Hahn Funeral Homes offers traditional burial, cremation services, and now pet cremation options, providing compassionate care for every member of the family. Families in Mishawaka have long trusted Hahn's to guide them with dignity, understanding, and personal attention through life's most difficult moments. For more information, visit them online at hahnfuneralhomes.com or call 574-255-1474. Hahn Funeral Homes, a family serving families. Thinking about retirement, Harbor Group Planned Wealth helps you answer the big questions like when to draw Social Security, how to manage investment risk, and what health insurance might cost. Wondering if you can earn part-time income after 62 without losing benefits, or if retiring could actually feel like getting a raise. They've got answers and a plan to guide you. Call the Harbor Group at 765-393-1074 or visit harborgroup.com. That's harborgroup.com. Back with more Coach's Corner with Heck and King. Thanks as always to the Black Sedan Band for the music coming in and out of these breaks. If you're interested in booking them that you travel, head on over to blacksedanband.com and give a special shout out to their drummer, who happens to be Heck's brother. And now, here's more Heck and King.
Hey, we are back, and you're listening to our music with the Hecklinski Group, known as the Black Sedan Band. We're happy that they're one of our sponsors. And
is he the leader now?
He's the manager.
Okay.
Hey, we're going to talk a little baseball for a little bit. For you guys that are at home right now, you're listening to or watching the Milwaukee Dodgers game right now. It started at 6 o'clock, so we're watching that as we speak.
Cubs lose.
Well, that's old news. You know,
Womp womp.
last week, the game I watched, the 15-inning game?
I come home from the high school football game.
Wasn't that fun?
I want to go to bed, so we go out to the tailgate. Then I sit up there, and I'm going to go to bed now. And I ended up watching that whole 15-inning affair. What a great game that was.
Detroit and Toronto, right? And,
Detroit and Seattle.
Yeah, that's right. Detroit
What
and
a great
Seattle
game that was.
went 15 innings.
Yep.
So, and that just shows you how close these teams are. And that was the best of five. And that was
that was game 5. Yep.
That was game 5. And now here we are into games, 2 and 3 and 4 coming up here with we got 4 teams left. You got the Dodgers, who are up 2-0 on the Brewers, and then Seattle, the Seattle series, the visiting teams won all 3 games.
That's right.
And I think they play tonight too. So we've got 2 games on tonight. You've got another one Friday. I think there's a game every night the rest of the weekend until we end up with 2 teams. And then the World Series will start probably next week, middle of the week. I don't know if it'll be all the way to the weekend or
I think
not.
so. Who knows?
The one thing that they've done too is with these games, because of the distance, they're going 2-3-2.
Right.
So the middle 3 games are at the lower seeded teams. So right now, Seattle's up 2 on Toronto, and we'll see what happens. Kenny, you said it was 3-0 right now? The baseball game, 3-0, 1-1 third inning. Okay. All right. What are you learning?
No, I just emailed or texted Scotty, Chris Potts's email address to email Chris and to let him know how to get on Zoom here, and he'll join us. He's a huge IU guy. He'll give us some inside info on IU. So, Scott, did you get that?
I did.
Okay, go ahead and email him and tell him how to do that. But there will be no speak. There will be no speak from me when I heard, while I was doing some work for the good of the show, when somebody said to me, Cubs don't matter anymore. Forget the Cubs. Forget the Cubs. Are you kidding me?
Oh, here we go.
I mean,
fandom.
Are
we already into the hot stove?
We take Milwaukee to game 5. We lose 3-1 because we can't get a hit to save our backside. But at the end, I know. Advance the runners.
Bunt.
Kyle Tucker. The last time Kyle Tucker got a hit, what?
The Dead Sea
was still sick.
Was just sick.
The Dead Sea was only sick, or Moby Dick
was still a minnow.
Yes, I'm glad you guys
see. We understand that.
But
back when those jokes were funny, my Social Security number was 1.
I love that. See, we got people laughing. People in here were laughing at that. But anyway.
Thank you, Scott.
When you look at these playoffs, John, John, you got to be heartbroken, right?
The Tigers fought so hard, and they go 15 innings. They take Seattle to Game 5. They got to go on the road in a hostile, and they take them to 15 innings. Gosh darn it.
Yeah, no, I know.
But you know what? That doesn't take away the year the Tigers had. What a great year, especially after falling and the way they fell in September, the bad September, that able to come back and get to Game 5 of the ALDS and fight their hearts out and go 15 innings. Tigers had a good year, no matter how heartbroken
They gave away about, what, a 12 or 13 game lead?
Yeah, they gave a 12-game lead away, lose the division, then they come back and beat Cleveland, and then they take Seattle to Game 5. I think that's pretty darn good.
So I should feel that same way about the Cubs.
Absolutely.
Right?
They had a great year.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.
Go with that.
I feel, thanks.
Yeah,
I feel a lot better about that.
They take the number one seed to Game 5. Yeah.
Bunt. I think we're going to get shirts that say Cubs, and on the back it'll say bunt.
Bunt.
Instead of punt, John punt, it's going to be bunt.
Yeah, but what is
Bunt,
so what
bunt,
are these
bunt.
What's
so
the coach's
what are these
name?
playoffs? So what are these playoffs? And I don't want to rain on your joke. Go ahead and finish your joke.
No, I was just
Bunt. Coach Bunt. What do we
Bunt.
got? What do we got?
Bunt, Ron Bunt.
I was going to, yeah, what's the manager's name?
Craig Counsell?
Craig. Bunt, Craig Bunt.
BCB.
There, what? Go with
BCB.
it. Go with
All right.
it. All
so,
right.
but here's what I want to tell you as these teams move along in the MLB, and we're going to try. Once the World Series starts, we're going to try and get Rich Donnelly on, one of my good friends who was a third base coach for the Marlins when they won the World Series. And by the way, Craig Counsell played for him.
Yes, he did.
And Craig Counsell was the head or played baseball at Notre Dame here, too.
He was the chicken that ran at midnight, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Okay.
And who was Craig Counsell's college baseball coach?
Maneri.
Paul Maneri, the manager of the Milwaukee Brewers.
No.
Pat Murphy.
Oh, Pat Murphy. You're right. Yeah, it was Pat Murphy. You're right.
I need
Before that.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
need some help. Give me some help on
Wrong
this.
Pat. It was class half.
The fact checker had it.
Pat Murphy.
St. Anthony, find me the right answer.
Kenny popped up with it right off the bat.
Well, that's what a phone will do for you.
Hey, but here's what I know. The team now with the money, and the team with the money is the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Magic Johnson's Dodgers.
Yeah, that's the team with the money. And when you're going to throw a pitching staff out at Milwaukee, and now Milwaukee has good hitters, but you're going to throw Tyler Glasnow, your number one. You're going to throw Blake Snell, $187 million pitcher, as number two. You're going to throw Yamamoto, the guy he brought over from Japan. He throws a complete game.
I say complete game,
game
last
three.
night.
Yeah, complete game last night. Yeah.
In game 3. And now your fourth starter for the Dodgers
tomorrow night
is Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
So you're telling
get the brooms out.
Well, no, it's back up the Brinks truck, right?
Exactly.
Because it's the team with the money that can buy those pitchers.
They have 4 number ones.
Right. And they're doing what the Yankees
to.
have done for years. Back up the Brinks truck.
Yeah, when George Steinbrenner was the owner.
Yes.
I was gonna say the Yankees haven't won it in 16 years.
Yeah,
Well, and that's about how long George has been gone.
When George passed away and Hal came on board and wanted to buy some more vacation homes for him and his family, he didn't spend like George did, which was actually good for the game.
I guess.
Well, I think Charlie Finley did that with Oakland. Even though it was way back, he spent some money on guys when Oakland was really good. And he had a nice house in LaPorte.
Yeah,
but he spent money on players.
But you look at the other 3 teams, in the championship series. I mean, Milwaukee was maybe 20th in payroll. Toronto was up there. Toronto was probably in the top 10 when it came to buying players.
That.
And Seattle, not really.
No.
But the Dodgers are the class of the deal. And here's another thing with the Dodgers. Dave Roberts has been the manager of the Dodgers for, 10, 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter if he was winning, if he had a down year. They stuck with Dave Rogers.
They had some stability.
There was continuity. They trusted him. That's a great line. That's a great way to put it. Yeah. Yeah. No, almost like Adams, like John Adams. You were the head coach at Adams for 15 years.
Well, and people knew who was there.
Yeah, people knew who was there. People knew how you were going to coach. People knew who was in charge of the program, how your kids were going to be, how they were going to play, how they were going to represent John Adams High School, because you had continuity.
Well, and that was one of the things I remember a long time ago I mentioned in my interview to the committee, was that I'm looking to come someplace and stay. You know, I had been 7 years at the previous place, 7 years at the previous place before that. So I said, you know, this is what I would need to move my family up here, and we'd like to stay here, make this a destination, not a stepping stone.
Well, how was he when he was here? I mean, John, you did some of his games,
Yeah, I
right?
did a lot of his games. Yeah, he was a stable force. You know, and there was a certain way he coached. The kids knew that.
Like it or not. They knew
like it or not, that's who he was.
And we actually, all 4 schools at the time were pretty stable. Huppenthal was at Clay.
Yep.
We had people, you know, at the other schools that were in there. Coop was over there, and then Chad was over there.
At Washington.
At Washington.
Yeah.
And
but you were
and Mark Johnson was at LaSalle till they closed it.
Yep.
Then he went to Riley.
How do we digress so badly on this show when we're talking about MLB?
He also had the best football boy in the state.
We're talking about stability.
You're coaching.
We're talking about stability,
and
okay, the Dodgers have it.
Okay, so truth be known, you stayed here for 15 years. You would have stayed here another 15 years, wouldn't you?
Sure.
No, I know.
I'm still here.
I know. Came back. I know. And that's something that ownership, that general managers at the professional level, that I think the good ones understand that. Joe Madden wins the World Championship for the Cubs, and they had won it in 100 years, right?
Right. It was 100 years, yeah.
Over 100 years. And so Joe Madden has a couple down years, and we forget that Joe Madden won the World Championship here. See you, Joe. Let's bring in David Ross. David Ross is a ex-player. He doesn't really know the ins and outs, but he's learning. I mean, Dave Roberts was a manager that had never managed before. But now we're going to bring Craig Counsell in because, Dave, you're not good enough anymore.
Well, and here's the other thing. On the American League side, everybody was talking about how good Toronto was this year.
Yep.
They were hitting the ball, putting runs on the board. They come in here, first 2 games with Seattle. Seattle wins the first 2 games. They're 2-0, and they go back out to Seattle thinking, okay, now what? We've got a playoff. And then, you know, Toronto goes out there and they win. So we've got, we've had 3 games. Tonight's game 4 out in Seattle. It's 2-1.
No, I know.
And I guess the trick is, can either one of those 2 teams play with the Dodgers? I guess that's the question.
But here's the thing. 2 years ago, when the Rangers and the Astros played in the ALCS, the road team won every game.
Uh-huh.
So
baseball's fickle.
Home field advantage is not quite as big in baseball as it might be for football or basketball.
And I wouldn't say that because Game 5 being in Milwaukee, games 3 and 4 were in Wrigley Field, and Wrigley Field was amazing.
Yes, it was
amazing. Yeah. And now you take if Game 5 would have been in Wrigley Field, I don't think there's any question that I would have felt that in my heart that the Cubs would have won that Game 5 in Wrigley Field.
You guys were talking about payrolls too. The Dodgers are obviously number 1 at team payroll at $240, and then Toronto's down at 5.
Yeah, the New York Mets were number 2, right?
Yeah, I'm just telling you who's left here in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So the Dodgers are 1, Toronto's 5, Seattle's down at 16, and the Brewers are at 14. So
yeah,
feast or famine for sure.
Yeah.
But you've got feast and famine going against each other.
And right now, there's nobody watching the ball games that care about the payroll. All they're worried about is see who's going to score the most runs. Let's go play ball.
Hey, do we have Chris on yet? Has Chris joined?
He's here, but I don't have a picture on him. I can put him on and see if his sound works. Here, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Talk.
Chris, you on, man?
Yep, I'm here.
Chris Potts, big. So we had talked about IU football a little bit. I wanted to get. I mean, you're an IU guy. You watch the pregame show. You watch the band at halftime. You're just a straight up IU guy. Give me your feelings on the Hoosiers this year.
Well, do you believe in alternate universes?
No, 100%. You're 100% right. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 180-degree turn from what we're used to from Indiana football. I mean, every year teams try to schedule Indiana to be their homecoming opponent because they want an easy victory. So I feel like we're in an alternate universe right now, and Cignetti's the reason.
Yeah, and so IU, I mean, there's a lot of openings now in college football. One being in the Big Ten, Penn State. So IU takes that right off the table and says, Kurt, 8 years, $93 million. Do you like that move by IU?
Absolutely. I mean, you've got to be proactive right now. It's an arms race, and when you're going up, when you're doing what Kurt Cignetti is doing at Indiana, everybody in the country is paying attention. And there's a whole lot of schools that have a lot more resources than Indiana University. Penn State being an obvious option right now. They don't have a coach, but they have a tremendous football pedigree, and they've got a history, and they've got cachet with their name. Scott Dolson decided, I'm not going to wait until somebody comes in and makes a ridiculous offer. I'm going to be the guy who locks this guy down. And you may have heard Cignetti today saying that he's going to retire in Bloomington, Indiana.
Yeah, I think that he is the real deal, and so if they don't lock him down, I still think he feels the same way. I mean, at age 64, there's not a better place to live. But I'm going to throw the catch-22 at you here. When Charlie Weiss first came to Notre Dame, and I talked about this a little earlier, he's good his first year and a half. The word is out there that the NFL's coming back after him. Kevin White signs him to a massive contract, and the wheels fall off. Mike Norvell at Florida State, the same deal. He has a good first year and a half. They throw more money at him, and again, the wheels fall off. And both of those programs then are into money with people. And obviously, you don't feel that way about Kurt Cignetti, do you?
Well, no, I don't. And, you could add Jimbo Fisher to that list of failings. Yeah. But, the thing that makes Cignetti different is that Cignetti is winning with 2- and 3-star players. It's his system. He's got a program. He's very dedicated to that program. They set up standards, and they do not deviate from the standards. Right now, if you looked at Indiana's roster, with the exception of just a couple of players, you're looking at guys that none of the other Big Ten schools wanted, and they're winning convincingly with those guys. So it's all about the system that Cignetti's put into place. That can't be said for Charlie Weiss and for Jimbo Fisher and Norvell and some of these other guys. They had a ton of talent on their rosters, and they had a couple of good years and then failed. So I think, this is an outlier situation.
Does it sound like another individual from years past when someone brought another guy in with the initials of BK? Nobody really. And I mean, in the annals of college basketball,
50 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, being a head coach at Army didn't resonate with anybody. But when he came in, he had principles, he had standards, and all of that worked for him. Does that kind of make you think about that a little?
Well, there's no question at Indiana University, what is going to be the standard by which all others are judged? You've got a guy who did exactly what you said. He came from nowhere. Nobody really knew who this Army coach was. And he came in and he changed the way basketball was played. If you look at some of the national pundits right now, they're all saying that Kurt Cignetti is ruining Big Ten football. Now everybody has to go back and change their template because this guy's winning with a bunch of 2- and 3-stars.
Yeah, so here's another way to look at like the Penn State scenario. Kurt Cignetti is not going to Penn State. Now we know that, but will Kurt Cignetti take some of these Penn State recruits now that committed and now will get out of their commitment because they don't know who the coach is? Will Kurt Cignetti get in there and sweep some of those recruits over to Bloomington? I say yes.
Well, if they meet with his standards, the answer will be yes. And the thing that's important about Signetti, as opposed to many of these other college coaches, is he doesn't just look at the number of stars. He looks at the character of the player. He wants guys who are from winning programs. He wants guys, obviously, that are good athletes. But more important than anything else, he wants good character. And you, part of that, one of the aspects of character, you know this. You're a Hall of Fame coach. You know that you require certain things of your players. And some of these guys who have heard so much about themselves in high school and they're 5 stars and everybody has entourages and everybody is kissing their tail end. Kurt Signetti doesn't want those kind of kids. He wants somebody that is willing to sacrifice the personal glory for the benefit of the program. And if you have a 5-star who's committed to Penn State right now and he doesn't have the proper attributes for Signetti, then Signetti will walk right past him. Now, obviously, he would love to have 5-star and 4-star guys, but they've got to have the character traits that he's looking for.
Let me ask you this question from the standpoint of IU football and the 3 letters NIL. Does Indiana University have the money to compete with the top echelon schools in the Big Ten when it comes to getting good players in Bloomington and then being able to pay them?
Yeah, it's a great question. They are trying to build up to that point. They have several donors who have written some very big checks. But when you're talking about an Ohio State or you're talking about a Texas or you're talking about an Alabama, no, they can't compete at this point with those. There's a lot of, you remember, fan is short for fanatic, and there's a whole lot of fanatics for Alabama and Georgia football and Florida State football and even Tennessee and Texas and others. So, no, Indiana's not at that stage yet. Matter of fact, there was just about a week ago, there was an announcement one of the best defensive linemen in the country was down to 2 schools. It was, amazingly, it was Indiana and Texas A&M. He ended up going to Texas A&M, and I'm sure money was the difference.
So how many games have you been to this year?
Just one. Just went down for the Illinois game.
Well, so at the stadium, and obviously, I mean, the crowds have got to be unprecedented. Are there sellouts now?
All the games are sold out. We got 3 more home games, including the one this Saturday, and they're all sold out.
Wow. No, there is something going on in the universe, right, Coach King?
Yes, there is. Well, and you mentioned one thing earlier about the 2-star and 3-star players that nobody else in the Big Ten wanted. Heck can attest to this. Think how many times you had kids that were playing that our games where somebody else was like made all county or all conference in front of your kid, and you made sure and reminded them of that. Or you got guys that are getting recruited to go someplace, and here they come in. That's what we put on the board. Hey, this is a guy that's getting looks at from this Division I school. And you go out, so your challenge to your kids is, let's see how good you are, because this is a great chance to measure up. So those IU kids, when they went out to Oregon against all those 5-stars that were playing with their Nike equipment on, and when they intercepted passes and stuff, they were looking right at that sideline, looking at them saying, hey, what about me? And that goes a long ways.
It sure does. And, what Signetti is doing today, I'm sure, is telling his players, you're nothing if you lose on Saturday. You were just you're a flash in the pan. And so if you get all big on yourself and you think you can't be beaten and you think you water, you don't belong on this team. We have to be serious this Saturday. We have to take care of business on Saturday, and then we'll worry about whoever's next on the schedule. We're not going to sit back and look in the rearview mirror and say, boy, that Oregon game, that sure proves that we're great. He won't do that.
Yeah, and defensively, Indiana's playing really, really well. The defensive coordinator for Indiana is a kid named Brian Haynes. And Haynes played at Ball State University when my nephew Jeff was an assistant football coach at Jeff with Brady Hoke. And that's where they had that great team where they were 12-0. And Jeff was telling me that Haynes is just an outstanding individual, number one, and a great defensive coach, number two.
Well, I'll tell you what, all the things that you want to say about Mendoza and Surratt and the refurbished offensive line and Hemby at the running back, the thing that's winning games for Indiana right now is that defensive front seven. They're just special. And it's Bryant Haynes that put it all together.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question. Do you know who the number 2 QB at Iowa is now?
Well, I was hoping that I was going to see your nephew play when Indiana played against Iowa, but I'm going to guess he's number 2 now, huh?
Yeah, no. Jeremy Hecklinski got a couple snaps last week. Got elevated to number 2. Mark Gronowski, the 6th-year quarterback from South Dakota or something like that, came in and was given the number 1 job and doing pretty good. I mean, Iowa. And Jeff was on here. My nephew Jeff was on here a couple weeks ago and told us on the air that Iowa is without question in the Big Ten is the toughest place to play. And he said, don't be surprised if IU has a tough time when they play at Iowa.
Yeah. Well, and it didn't surprise me at all. They've got a great coach. I mean, you talk about Bo Shem. Talk about Hayes, you talk about all these other guys, and the guy who's won the most Big Ten football games ever is Kirk Ferentz.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. Hey, listen, I'm so happy that you took a couple minutes to come on. We had talked about IU football, but we never really got into Coach Signetti and his 2- and 3-star players and what he's doing. And your insight to that was really, really good, Chris, man.
Well, hey, it's always a pleasure to speak with you. I mean, I don't get to share company with a Hall of very often, so thank you, guys.
Hey, listen, man, tell your wife, say hi to the boys for me, and we'll talk to you later. That's the great Chris Potts. Just very, very, very insightful, very knowledgeable Indiana University football fan, and I felt that we could talk about some of the ends at IU, but the fact that he came in and gave us a lot of insight on Curt Signetti, I think was really, really cool. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back and spend a whole 30 minutes on high school football, because high school football is in the last week of their season, and there's some really cool stuff taking place this weekend. So, Scott, take us to a break. We will be back.
Here, right before we go, just to kind of put a bow on the conversation about highly ranked recruits. And heck, you love the 2-word phrase blue chip. So I'm going to ask you one question.
Yeah.
What do you think IU's blue chip ratio is? And blue chip ratio meaning the percentage of their roster who is 4- and 5-star high school recruits.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, obviously it's not going to be very high because we just heard what Chris told us. But go ahead and tell us what is it?
It is 8%.
Yeah,
45th in the country,
and they're number 3 in the country.
Really?
Now, what does that tell you about coaching, right? I mean, what does that tell you? I mean, coaching a lot of times now in our day and age is a word that doesn't get thrown around enough, because all that gets thrown around is NIL. There's 5-star, 4 stars, stuff like that. But coaching is still a big part of it, right?
Oh, I agree. It's probably 95% of it is coaching.
Yeah, and I remember this, Pat, and you will remember this too. Back in your coaching career, I would have players come up to me and say, "Coach, I'm a D1 player. Coach, can you give me a D1 deal?" I would look at that dude square in the eye and say, "Listen, son, you're a D11 player. You ain't D1. But there are places, if you want to play college basketball, we can send you somewhere."
We'll find you someplace.
And I kind of conversation with Christy Ulrich at Penn today, the girls coach, and she's got some good players who think that they're D1. She says, "I'll help you find a college to play." But
yeah,
you're not a D1 player.
Yeah.
But I'll find you. You can play college, but I'll help you with that. But it's like, okay, you got to get the reality here, girl. You're not.
Yeah, and so that, I mean, that's a great spin, Scott, to finish up the Curt Signetti thing, because 8% of his players are 4- and 5-star players, and yet he's number 3 in the country.
Yeah.
And just for comparison, Georgia's is 74, Alabama's 73, Ohio State's 73. LSU 71, Oregon 67. That's top 5.
Wow. Huh? Wow. What's Notre? I mean, you got Notre Dame's there?
Yeah, I got the whole thing. Let me control F. Oh, Notre Dame's down to 8. They're 58%.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So Notre Dame recruits well. Marcus does a good job.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
It's because he learned how to recruit from Jim Tressel.
Yeah, and here's the deal too. So that 8%, with all of the good things that Indiana's doing, that could very well double in this next recruiting cycle.
Absolutely.
Because kids are saying, hey, man, why not hang out in Bloomington and play for Coach Sig?
It goes back to Coach Saban with that $20 million. He's putting it in the right place.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. Scott, take us to break, and we shall return.
Thinking about retirement, Harbor Group Planned Wealth helps you answer the big questions like when to draw Social Security, how to manage investment risk, and what health insurance might cost. Wondering if you can earn part-time income after 62 without losing benefits, or if retiring could actually feel like getting a raise. They've got answers and a plan to guide you. Call the Harbor Group at 765-393-1074 or visit harborgroup.com. That's harborgroup.com. Han Funeral Homes, located at 505 West 8th Street in Mishawaka, continues a proud tradition built on one promise of family serving families. With deep roots in the community, Han Funeral Homes offers traditional burial, cremation services, and now pet cremation options, providing compassionate care for every member of the family. Families in Mishawaka have long trusted Hans to guide them with dignity, understanding, and personal attention through life's most difficult moments. For more information, visit them online at hanfuneralhomes.com or call 574-255-1474. Han Funeral Homes, a family serving families.
Medicare plans can be confusing, but they don't have to be. I'm Tony Ledger, licensed insurance agent. I can help you compare your options because I'm appointed with many nationally recognized carriers. With my help, you can find the coverage that fits your needs and budget. I don't want you to be my client today. I want you to be my client forever. Call Tony Ledger today to schedule your free consultation or visit tledger.com.
Looking to hit the road with confidence? Frick's Driving School in Mishawaka has been helping drivers of all ages gain the skills they need for a lifetime of safe driving. With experienced, patient instructors, including our very own Pat King, and flexible scheduling options, Frick's makes learning to drive easy and stress-free. Whether you're a first-time driver or need a refresher like our own Ron Heklinski, Frick's has you covered. Plus, for just $65, they offer the state driving exam in-house. No need to go anywhere else. Visit fricksdrivered.com or you can call 574-256-0650 to get started today. Back again with more Coach's Corner. Shout out, as always, to the Black Sedan Band. Now in their, well, they've been with us since the start. We'll just say that. They do travel, so if you're interested in booking a great cover band, go to blacksedanband.com or you can check them out on YouTube after you're done watching us, of course. Now here's more Heck and King.
Sedan Band out of Birmingham, Alabama. They play great tunes, man. We love them here, and we love their drummer. Hey, this has been a great show so far. We talked IU football. We talked some baseball, some Major League Baseball. We're going to get into some high school football now because it's week number 8. And John and I will certainly be at St. Joe High School tomorrow night to broadcast the St. Joe Huskies against the Penn Kingsmen. And the cool thing about this is both of those teams are 8-0.
This is the game of the year.
Well, it is. It's
at least in the northern part of the state.
Well, no, it's the game. It's the game of the year in the state of Indiana, along with Johnny B. Good. Springs Valley at 8-0 will play at North Davies at 8-0.
And I have a good friend of mine who was a North Davies alum, and he said that is probably the best game in the state. Not taking anything away from St. Joe and Penn, but he said that's going to be a battle down there in the South.
Well, and they're, you know, I mean, there's going to be some other battles on this last weekend. Andrean, your favorite school, John, is at 7-1, is playing at Lowell at 7-1.
I'm taking the Red Devils on that game.
Brownstown Central.
They're for real. Yeah.
Brownstown Central at 8-0 is playing at Scottsburg at 7-1. And this will be a great game, too, as it always has. Center Grove at 7-1 is playing at Bloomington South at 8-0. Griffith at 7-1 is playing at Wheeler at 7-0. Maconaquah at 8-0 is playing at a school that you guys know very well, Rochester, 7-1.
And Maconaquah is good. I had my brother-in-law went to the Maconaquah Carroll game in week 2, and they were very impressed with Maconaquah and what they bring to the table. They blew Carroll out, who's one of the good 1A teams in the north, and they just destroyed them.
And Pioneer at 7-1 is playing at North Judson at 7-1. Pioneer, we all know Jack Kaiser.
Yes, yep. Oh, yeah.
Great football player at Notre Dame. But then on the other side of that, there have been some seasons that have not been good. But there will be a winner this year when Mitchell at 0-8 will play at Perry Central at 0-8. So there will be
a winner.
There will be a winner.
Is that we need a toilet bowl flush sound for that one?
That'll work.
That's good.
Let's take a look at this. Let's look at the numbers a little bit, John. Penn at St. Joe. Penn giving up 34 points a game. St. Joe giving up 45 points a game. So both defenses are really good.
Oh, they're great. I've seen both Penn and St. Joe play, and they are tough up front. And I think what St. Joe's going to have to do in this game, besides managing the emotions, they're going to give rally towels for the first 1,000 people that walk into Father Blythe tomorrow night. You get a free rally towel.
I'm getting one.
I am too. We're going to be there early enough, Coach. We'll get them. But I'll tell you, if St. Joe can shorten the game, they can shorten the game.
What a homer.
Shorten the game. Yeah, he's a St. Joe Indian. Yeah, I'm not. That's great.
Homer.
They can shorten the game, force some turnovers, and keep that Penn offense on the sideline and not kick it to Hurley. They got a shot.
Well, they have a very good kicker, and he can kick it short. He can pop it up. He can kick it out of the end zone. But here's something that you know all the great coaches look at this. They look at strength of schedule. Okay, St. Joe's strength of schedule is 164 in the state, and Penn's strength of schedule is 131. Now that strength of schedule is only because of the NIC conference.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Because you got 6 other teams that I mean, quite frankly, aren't very competitive when you take a look at St. Joe and Penn. But here's the reason why Penn has a better strength of schedule, because their first 2 games were against Valpo and Mishawaka. Mm-hmm. Where St. Joe's first 2 games were against Lakeland and Fort Wayne South.
Right.
So
exactly.
I say take the strength of schedule and throw it out the window, because it only applies to 2 teams.
Exactly.
I mean, 2 games.
Right. Exactly.
Strength of schedule of those 2 teams.
Yeah. So, but I think this is important. The last 40 years of games, Penn is 22-0.
Yes.
So does that? Does the law of averages tell you, man, at some point in time, St. Joe got to win a game, right?
Well, Kenny and I saw Penn last week, and they dominated New Prairie. It was 35-0, I think, at the half, and they scored every possession and scored in very convincing fashion. And even in the second half, during timeouts, you could hear the people up there in the press box talking about, what they were going to have to do to stop, to challenge St. Joe. They were up there already solving issues and getting their scouting reports ready. And the whole thing they were talking about was St. Joe's defense. Can they control the blitz? Can Penn's offensive line control St. Joe's defense and their aggressive blitzes and things that they do?
Yeah, and St. Joe comes from a lot of different areas. They're going to play a 3-man front with 4 linebackers, 2 inside and 2 outside, and the 2 outside linebackers are Charlie Gruey and Kobe Ado, who blitz a lot from the outside. And then they'll come with Kaz Mirzak, the inside backer. But they give a lot of different looks defensively. They have a great safety and a kid named Rutzkowski. They have James Crenity, who's a safety. So I think defensively, both of those teams are really good.
And I talked to Trevor Dokes, who is the secondary coach. He's a good friend of mine, and he was saying that they're going to mix up some things tomorrow night, and they are going to come with some of those secondary blitzes because they think that Penn can't pick all them up at the same time. So they're going to mix some things in tomorrow night that Penn may not be ready for.
Well, they had 13 sacks against Elkhart.
Right, exactly. School record, yeah.
And when I did Elkhart Marion last Friday night, which Elkhart blitzed them really bad. But I look at the athletes and the talent that Elkhart has. And so my question would obviously be, why is Elkhart 5-3 with the talent that they have? Their quarterback was 6'4", 219 pounds, could throw the ball all over the field. They have the Penn transfer.
But he couldn't move. He was like a statue back there.
Well,
he was a target.
He moved against Marion. He ran the ball really well. They have Bardo, the kid that transferred from Penn.
Right.
But I mean, when you look at Elkhart, Elkhart should be St. Joe, Penn, and Elkhart. And why Elkhart has lost two games? Well, they lost 2 games to Penn and St. Joe.
They've had to rebuild a little this year, from what I understand.
So let me ask you this question. Would you put that Elkhart scenario with the players that they have on a coaching deal?
No, I think it's a talent thing right now. They're what I've seen over there in the weight room, the times I've been there, they don't have the horses that they've had the last couple of years, plain and simple. Now, I'm looking back to strategy-wise, I think Penn's going to hope that St. Joe blitzes because of what I saw last week. Their passing game last week was all little short stuff. It was quick hitters. Most of their completions were slants right over the middle. And that's a perfect.
Hall to Bernanke was a lot of that last week.
That's a perfect when you're blitzing. Think about it, when you blitz, that's what's opened up is that middle. They were running the inside receivers.
Where the blitzes come from.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's where Trevor Dokes said they're going to mix it up because they're not going to bring their linebackers all the time. Because of that, they're going to make Hall make a decision. Can he do that? That's the question. If they bring the secondary and put the backers in coverage, Trevor Dokes says St. Joe's got a better chance. They're going to make Hall make a decision, take that short passing game, maybe take a shot over the top, and if they beat us, they beat us. But I think you're going to see with St. Joe a mixture of things tomorrow night.
That'll be part of the chess game that they're going to play. And you know what? They ran the ball very well, too. Penn did. So they had a nice mix. I mean, unfortunately for New Prairie, they did whatever they wanted to.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was a mismatch from.
And the same was true when St. Joe played New Prairie.
Exactly.
The same was true when St. Joe played New Prairie.
It was a mismatch.
It was a total mismatch. Now, some will say, and I've said this probably 10 times, but I think it holds true. Some will say if you're playing 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that's true with St. Joe. No. Anthony Gooby, the kid that moved over from Adams High School, and Sam Shikatano, the 6'3" kid that throws the ball all over the yard for St. Joe. I think those are 2 pretty good quarterbacks, and I think they do different things. So I think St. Joe does a great job in mixing those two and playing those 2 together.
And when I did the game, a week 1 game with Lakeland, they used them both, and it kept Lakeland on their toes, and they couldn't figure out how to stop either one of them.
Yeah, so I'm really looking. I'm looking forward to that game. I think that stadium on tomorrow night should be sold out.
You're gonna have to get there early, aren't they?
Yeah, they're opening the gates at 6 for a 7:00 kick, and Steve Anderson might even have to open them earlier.
Well, if they're buying tickets, those lines will be long. That's for sure. They need to sell tickets ahead of time.
Heck, tell people where they can find the stream.
Well, it's the next thing. Where's your stream going to be? Where are you?
Regional Radio Sportsnet, rrsn.net.
There you go.
And we're going to do broadcastsports.net. Or the IHSA Champions Network. So you've got 2 choices.
You got 2
choices.
Heck,
or you can get me.
Get on your
stream them both.
Log them in.
Yeah, I can log them both in. Why not?
Yeah, well,
and just mute who's annoying you at the moment.
I will say this much, and I'm kind of new to the football, but I know football. But we were doing a game a couple weeks ago, and my partner was giving scores, and he was giving scores that no one cared about, and I said stop. I said, who cares about that score? If you can't give me a score in the area, then I don't want you giving me any score. I don't know if you guys do that on your broadcast.
That's funny. Hey, speaking of area, let me jump one other thing. I saw this in the paper. locally, South Bend Adams. Adams and Riley played last week, 10-8. 10-8 for the game. Kicked the field goal. The field goal kicker, the reason what I'm bringing up is the field goal kicker, the kicker at Adams, Eric Garcilazo, is also the soccer goalie. So last week, Thursday, he had soccer. Friday, he kicks in the football game, kicks the winning field goal. Saturday, they go to PKs against Marion, and he knocks down. They win in PK. Yeah. So Adams upsets Mishawaka Marion to win the sectional. So in 24 hours, he kicks the winning field goal in a football game. 24 hours later, he's part of a PK when they upset and win the soccer sectional.
And then they win the soccer regional last night.
They won the regional last night against Concord in another upset. So good for him. There's a local kid, but again, they're showing you. Here's a program that's sharing kickers, sharing players. You get a soccer player that's playing football also.
All right, what's his name again?
Eric Garcilazo.
Say that 7 more times.
No, once was enough.
Okay. He's going to be getting so many wine coolers at the high school parties.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So I thought that was interesting. Those are little things that you know.
And Frankie's doing a pretty good job at Adams.
They're 4-4, and they actually drew Kokomo in the sectional. So they have ideas that they might actually win a sectional game. And the reward, if they do beat Kokomo, is they get to play Lafayette Jeff.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we have some sectionals. We know where some teams are playing in the sectionals now. We got that tough sectional with Mishawaka, Northwood, St. Joe, and the drawing came out where St. Joe plays Riley at St. Joe. Mishawaka and Northwood play the opening night.
That's going to be a great game. That's going to be a great game
at Northwood. And Mishawaka beat Northwood on a field goal in the last seconds last time they played. So Mishawaka and Northwood are going to beat each other's brains out in one bracket. St. Joe will come through the other bracket playing Riley and I forget who else is in that. Maybe Wawasee or something like that.
Yeah, Wawasee and Northridge, I believe. Yeah. I think it's Wawasee and Northridge.
Okay. Yeah. So St. Joe will come through that. So that will set up for a really cool sectional championship.
So next week we'll talk about sectionals. This week, and one of the things I was looking at too, when we're looking at sectionals, you looked at some of the matchups, and I did too. There were not very many. We're talking about seeding sectionals every year. They're talking about they don't want the two best teams playing in the first round. I did not see very many, if any of those. Almost every sectional, the best two teams were not playing the first game. And that's just luck of the draw, but it just happened this year. So we'll look more about that next week. But let's get through this week here. Like you said, you've got Brownsburg playing HSE. Center Grove has Bloomington South, Penn St. Joe. Here's one. Warren Central's got to play Cathedral. Cathedral's 5-3 in 5A, but I think all three of their losses might be to out-of-state teams. I think they're 5-0 against Indiana.
Okay. I'm at Harold's site right now. Cathedral lost to Brownsburg.
Okay.
Cincinnati St. X and Covington.
Okay, so they've lost to two out-of-state teams plus the 6A number one Brownsburg. So,
not too shabby.
So don't ignore Cathedral when you get to 5A.
I'm not sure anybody ever ignores Cathedral.
No,
you?
No.
I mean, do you ignore Cathedral?
Not in tournament time.
Me either. Never have. That is good.
The only one that I could find that was like two good teams playing each other right off the bat is Sectional 13, New Pal and Plainfield.
Yeah, I saw that too. That's
really about it.
Well, hey, let's finish up with some NFL.
Fort and Castle play each other.
Oh yeah, there's an Evansville game, wasn't there?
Yeah, no. So NFL, not for long. We have the Chicago Bears coming off of a big win. Johnny B. Good.
Yes, they did
against the Washington Commanders. Two last-second wins against the Raiders, blocking a field goal, and then against the Commanders, kicking a field goal.
Was that the Monday night game?
That was the Monday night game.
Yeah.
and you were in Florida. You probably didn't watch any Monday Night Football. You were probably
I was busy changing diapers.
Well, no, you were at the pool.
No.
You were probably at the pool.
Oh, yeah. Well,
believe me, he was playing golf because he sends me a picture of a gator looking at him.
Did you see my alligator?
I saw your gator. Yeah, he sends me a picture. He's on the golf course, and there's a picture of a gator looking at him.
So he wasn't at the pool. I have the pool.
Yeah, you have the pool.
Well, I didn't know if there was a neighborhood pool.
Well, there is one, but
could be hanging out at.
But the surprise of that was the Falcons beat the Bills that same night.
Yeah,
they had 2 games on.
So
what's up with it with the Bills? Buffalo going to Atlanta. I would say that was laying the egg. What's your theory on that?
Josh Allen's checked out. He's married the woman of his dreams. He doesn't care anymore.
Oh dear! So he's got his paycheck. He's got a ring. He's good.
He does care because he's a competitor. But what I would say about it all is the parity in the National Football League is as good as it's ever been.
Yes.
I mean, everybody.
We see that every week.
I mean, everybody anoints the Eagles again. The Eagles this, the Eagles that. The Eagles lost a couple games. Everybody says the Chiefs this, the Chiefs that.
They had the Chiefs, on life support, and they turn around and beat up on the Lions.
Yeah. Well, what about John? What about that game?
I don't know. I've got some questions about the Lions. I really do. I don't know. And then they can't play nice at the end of the game.
Yeah, no, that
was ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. But that's one.
I think the Lions will be okay. Yeah,
I think the Lions are great.
Yeah, they're still a good football team. They just didn't perform.
Well, no, and that's the NFL, right?
Yeah. You can't. Every week you're going to get the best shot of everybody. It doesn't matter who you're playing.
Well,
look at the Colts.
My Sunday afternoon, I was at the golf course, and they had
watching the Gator.
Well, at the Gator, and my in-laws had the radio with them, so they could listen. They were listening to the Tampa Bay game.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield.
Oh man,
he's resurgent.
Baker Mayfield right now could run for mayor down there. They love him. Well, they love him in Tampa.
He played through adversity. The number 1 draft pick 5 or 6 years ago. Immature. He's even said it. I was immature. I didn't study it. I didn't take it seriously. Now he understands. He's very thankful for where he's at. He's in the right system at Tampa Bay. And anybody can beat anybody. The Bears are in a stretch now where they could win their next 4 games. And so the Bears could easily be 7-2, getting back in divisional play. They play the Saints this coming week, but I like NFL football. I think NFL football is a game of attrition because the injuries that take place at that level, the hits that those guys take, is just literally amazing to me.
Yeah, we get hit like that. They're calling 911.
Yeah. Well, I did see in Indianapolis, Riley Leonard has been named the number 2 for the Colts game this week. Moving forward, Richardson got hurt in warm-ups last week, and he's going to be out for an extended period of time. The Colts have got on the waiver wire and filled in with another quarterback. But our Notre Dame guy's he'll be the number 2. He'll be the backup this week when they go out to San Diego. Let's see if the Colts can go west and have L.A. the Chargers. Harbourville. How's that?
So, wait, have you been drinking on this show?
Not yet. Not yet.
Started yet?
I can do all this on my
Colts
own.
better watch out, and hopefully the helmet-to-helmet communication works.
I can do all this on my own.
So what game do you have tomorrow?
Kenny and I are going back out to New Prairie for game number 9 against South Bend, Washington. So I'm thinking that might be first team to 50.
Stop.
God bless you, my son.
Who cares?
God bless you, my son.
Yes, that's exactly what that. And then the week after that, we're heading for Hobart, right? Yeah. We're heading for the region.
You have to go to the Bricky Bowl again, yeah.
Oh, buddy.
So what sectional are you going to, John?
I'm going to Logansport.
Are you
Logansport, Huntington North.
He's going down to see the Berries.
They love me. I think they're going to make me an honorary mayor is what I hear.
Oh, Lord.
No, yeah.
They love
I got Logansport and Huntington North next week.
We get to do some road trips.
You may be going to Muncie with me the week too.
Muncie's playing better.
Yeah, because if Logan wins and Muncie wins, Logan would go to Muncie Central week 2.
I get to go down to see the Bearcats.
Yeah, you might get to go with me to do that one.
Muncie Central 5-3.
Yeah, not bad.
I got a place to stay.
Well, I am going to Father Blythe Field to do the Penn game, and then the following week, St. Joe is at home against Riley.
Yeah.
So I'll get to
get a
do that game
rematch on
too.
that. Okay.
Yep.
Hey, let's go get some pizza.
Yeah.
Wait,
hey, listen, you
Hey,
guys.
before you guys sign off, I want to add kind of another layer of importance to this SC Notre Dame game, and like it doesn't need a whole lot because it's SC and Notre Dame.
Sure.
But okay, so think about it. Notre Dame loses, they're out, so they're playing for their lives the rest of the year.
Yeah,
If
elimination
SC can-
games.
They're in the Chick-fil-A Bazooka Bubblegum Bowl if they lose.
But if SC can manage to win, now they go to Nebraska, who's 25th right now, and I mean they could win that pretty okay too. And they're playing Northwestern at home, Iowa at home, and then they have Oregon at Oregon. And if they go into Oregon and SC both are 10-1 at the time they play,
Right.
are they both in the playoffs
Good
at that
question.
point? Depending
Good
on who
question.
wins, who loses.
Well,
Because
no,
Oregon doesn't have an easy schedule left either.
No.
But-
yeah, and that, I mean, that's what's beautiful about this because we're in week 8 now, and we have 4 or 5 more weeks left. But there's going to be upsets. There's going to be teams that get beat. There's going to be teams that move up the polls, move down the polls.
Right.
And us 3 are sitting here saying that the Irish are going to win, so we're not even concerned about USC.
And the people out in Los Angeles are saying the same thing.
Yeah. But
We're just going to listen to Conquest
Now,
all
I
night
got
long.
here real quick. When do they start coming out on Tuesday or Wednesday with the if
I think it's
the
next
tournament
week.
was this? Isn't it week 8?
I
When they
think
come
so.
out with the
I think it's
12
this
best
coming
teams.
Tuesday, right?
I think
So-
the first set is coming Tuesday.
And then obviously it changes every week.
Yep.
Yeah, so on the show tonight, we would certainly like to thank Chris Potts for chiming in, talking about, giving us some insight about Kirk Signetti. One of my ex-players who lives in North Carolina texted me last week. His name's Chad Kirk. He's a great kid. He told me, he said, our show last week was one of the best that he's ever heard. And he said, he used the word flow. He said, your flow in the show was great. I thought he was talking about the back of my flow, my hair.
You got the
But
mullet going.
I think he was talking about how we went from topic to topic and how we didn't argue. Maybe he was talking about the fact that we didn't argue or that Pat was great.
We can.
We put Pat.
You guys can't.
So what do you mean? It's
Okay.
better when we argue.
We put you in the middle for a reason. In the middle.
Yes,
I feel like Rodney
you're the referee.
I'm kind of
Because
Rodney
you had a referee
Dangerfield.
last Friday night too.
When you guys
know.
need something to do, you got to pick on somebody. Just, here's Ken.
Hey, you guys have been great. This has been a great show. Scott, thanks for all.
Here we
Make
go.
sure
So what's
you all
baseball?
tune in next week.
Thanks, everybody.